dinner dance in the Orange Hotel in Surabaya, Chandler has handed a cablegram. Dorothy, who has been concerned over the fact that she has not heard from her husband for several weeks, asks if the message is from Robert. The gay party is shocked into silence as Chandler replies, "No, Doc. It's about Robert. He must go home at once." The present act opens 6 months later in the office of a firm of attorneys in Los Angeles. Chandu the Magician.
Hello? No, this is the office of Montleone and Seabrook. I think you must have the wrong number. This is an attorney's office. That's quite all right. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Montleone in?
Yes, what's the name, please?
I'm Mr. Chandler.
You had an appointment?
Yes. Will you please tell Mr. Montleone we're here?
Certainly. Won't you sit down, Mrs. Regent, the widow of Robert Regent? Won't you take a chair, please? I'll tell Mr. Montleone.
What's the matter, Doc? Don't you feel well?
Oh, it's nothing.
What is it? What makes you tremble so?
Oh, I suppose it's just the nerves, Frank, but I've had a queer hallucination, if that's what it is, for the last few days. And it came again, just as we were walking down the corridor.
What? What are you talking about?
Well, it seems as if everything were turning red.
Turning red?
Oh, I know it's ridiculous, but the whole room seems filled with a faint red mist. I suppose it's just a...
Wait, Doc.
Montleone would like to have you come in, Mr. Chandler.
Thank you.
Oh, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been expecting you.
We received your letter, Mr. Montleone, and came in, as you suggested, to have a little conference.
Just take this chair, Mrs. Regent.
Thank you.
Right here, Mr. Chandler.
Thank you.
You were abroad, I believe, when your husband died, Mrs. Regent.
Yes.
We were in Java when the cablegram reached us. We came home as soon as we could.
May I extend my sincere condolences to you both?
Thank you.
I can particularly appreciate your bereavement because of the tragedy which occurred so close to me recently.
You mean?
I'm referring to the sudden death of my partner, Mr. Seabury.
Oh.
He was not only a partner, but my closest friend.
How tragic.
Yes, indeed.
You see, Mrs. Regent, it was Mr. Seabury who had taken care of some matters for your husband. He used to handle the preparation of our cases very largely, and as a rule, I handled the court work.
Yes, I can see how that would be.
As a matter of fact, I heard Mr. Regent's name mentioned only casually once or twice in conversations with my partner. But Mr. Regent was engaged in scientific work, I believe.
Yes.
I've been going over the files in our office in connection with the various matters Mr. Seabury was handling for your husband.
Yes?
And apparently, Mr. Regent had paid little attention to financial matters.
I'm sure of it, Mr. Montleone. It was quite a shock to discover that a considerable sum in investments in cash has disappeared.
I'm afraid that is the case. Although Mr. Regent consulted Mr. Seabury several months before his death in an effort to salvage something out of the wreck. You had a joint account, I believe, Mrs. Regent.
Yes. We've always held all our investments jointly.
Well, the memoranda which I've been going over in Mr. Seabury's files indicates that the failure of the Tupper Bond Company's enterprises completely sucked away your holdings. I fear that loss is complete and final.
My sister is quite prepared to face that, Mr. Montleone.
Yes. And even the money I suppose was in the bank had been withdrawn by Robert.
I think I can explain that. Mr. Regent apparently attempted to save the situation by putting more cash into investments. And these went by the boards along with everything else. However, I believe the Beverly Hills home was in your name, Mrs. Regent. Your name alone, I mean.
Yes, fortunately.
We are negotiating a sale of this property, Mr. Montleone.
You see, I couldn't live there now after...
Yes, I can understand.
We've been a little in the dark, see, because my brother-in-law gave his family no inkling that there was any emergency here.
I suppose all our investments were in securities that nothing could affect.
Naturally.
You think then, Mr. Montleone, there's no possibility of recovering any portion of the estate?
Well, I would say that there appears to be no possibility.
However, there is just one rather strange item. I haven't much confidence in it, but it was really with regard to that item that I wanted to have a little talk with you. I see.
What was that, Mr. Montreal?
As nearly as I can piece the story together by examination of our files and by inference, your husband had brought to Mr. Seabury everything he could find among his own papers that might be converted into cash.
Poor Robert. You wanted to stand me any worry.
Among Mr. Seabury's papers, I find a deed to a certain tract of land in Burma. In Burma? Yes, India. Here's the deed.
Oh, seems to me I remember something about it. But it was years ago.
Just let me see. Do you mind, Dorothy?
Of course not.
Well, do you think this is perfectly legal, Mr. Montleone, and of any value? That's what I want to talk to you about. It's a deed to a large tract of land in Upper Burma, and attached to the deed you will notice a memorandum regarding an ancient Burmese legend that somewhere on this tract of land is a lost ruby mine.
Really?
The thing's rather fantastic, but nevertheless, Burma is where rubies are found. Is there supposed to be a mine there now? No, there's no mine. But the memorandum accompanying this deed says that for ages there's been a legend in Burma regarding a limestone cave in which is hidden an immense store of rubies cut by Burmese artisans and destined to go to the emperors of ancient China and Egypt. It certainly does sound fantastic.
Frank, you know Robert would have believed anything. There's no telling how much he paid for this land. Probably worth it.
Here's a rather curious thing. He didn't buy the land at all. He didn't? No. It was given to him by the British Colonial Office in return for some scientific discovery which he had turned over to the government. That's certainly remarkable.
I remember that incident vaguely.
The point is, Mr. Montleone, do you think this land has any value? And how can we find out? Ah, that's it. This worker's in London. They had been in touch with a solicitor in Rangoon. Was this recently? The letter from London is dated about 2 months ago. Then you will follow this through for us? Yes, I will. But I thought I'd like to have a talk with you first. Because among the papers I found some notes in my partner's handwriting. Oh. It appears this lost ruby mine is mentioned in a number of works on Burma. Oh, yes? And there's a popular superstition in Burma. The enormous wealth represented in those lost jewels will never be enjoyed by man. Because for ages, whoever has sought these rubies has come to a tragic end. India is full of myths and legends like that.
Oh, it sounds like nonsense, Frank. I don't know. Something warns me again.
I'm not at all superstitious, nor do I pretend to be psychic. In fact, I'm too busy a man to be interested in psychic or metaphysical matters. But my investigation of this case has interested me very deeply. I can appreciate just what you mean when you speak of a strange sense of foreboding.
Yes?
I know it sounds ridiculous to talk about these things in broad daylight. But well, according to the papers I found in Mr. Seabury's files, these rubies are protected by the Red Ghost of...
Frank.
Is there something about that phrase that's disturbing to you, Mrs. Regent?
No. Frank, did you hear it?
Mr. Montleone, did you hear a strange sound just then? No, what kind of sound? Oh, never mind then. It's just something we can't explain. Are you all right, Doc?
Yes, I think so. But the red mist.
You saw it again?
Yes. Just fading away now.
Why, how very extraordinary. My sister and I have seen many extraordinary things. But we can discuss that later. Shall we go ahead, Doc, and get this over?
Yes, Frank, you heard it?
Of course I heard it, Doc. What were you saying, Mr. Montleone? Well, I was saying that I made some... Well, my curiosity was so aroused by the memorandum about the ruby mine that I began to make some researches myself.
What's the matter, Mr. Montreal? Are you ill?
Shall I open a window? No. That's all right. I'm all right. I was just going to say that I made the amazing discovery. Oh,
Frank. Wait. fainted.
Wait a minute. I'll get some people in the other office. Come here, will you? Mr. Montleone is ill.
Ill?
He's just fallen over on the desk. He's probably fainted. See if you can loosen his collar, Dorothy. Isn't there a doctor's office directly across the hall? I thought I noticed one as I came in.
Yes. I'll give Dr. Help. Frank, see if you can get his collar unfastened.
Yes. Open another window, will you? Quickly, please.
There you are. Here he is. See what's the matter with poor Mr. Montleone. He's been working too hard.
Yes, just help me lift him back in the chair, will you, Mr.
Yes. Do you want to lay him down on the floor?
No, just a moment while I make an examination.
We were discussing some business with Mr. Montleone when he suddenly fell forward on the desk, Doctor. He must have fainted.
Mr. Montleone has not fainted. He's dead.